everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well and staying fine. So today we are going to talk about something which each one of us might have pondered over in this period of crisis. We might have always thought when these cases of COVID are rising, the lockdowns are happening, unlocking, and things we are returning back to normal. Might have always thought about this, is that when is the vaccine coming? When is the perfect drug coming out in the market which can cure it all and help us out of this situation as fast as we can. So I thought I'll do this video to keep few things in perspective, which will make us understand better, and we will also be hopeful about the future. So we are going to talk today about vaccines and drugs which are available at this moment regarding COVID. Regarding diagnostics, the current research I have already discussed in one of my earlier videos. Quickly speaking, currently RT-PCR based diagnostic kits, serological or antibody based diagnostic kits, along with a few other new technologies using CRISPR-Cas9 or microarray based things are coming up, which basically want to reduce the time of diagnostic test, also increasing the accuracy to identify a patient correctly. So now when we come to drugs and vaccines, I'd like to draw your attention to how any drug or vaccine or any kind of pharmaceutical which comes to the market, how much time or what are the processes that follow behind its launch or into the market. So before a vaccine or drug is identified, what happens is something which we term as target identification. Okay, target is something like it can be any compound, any molecule, any antibody which is supposedly of a therapeutic effect. So this target identification can be where you identify, say, a 200 number of compounds, and then you select few of them from through something called target generation and optimization. So all these processes follow, and after target optimization you go towards the clinical development, which are the trials, and finally after clinical trials a drug hits the market. So frankly, the whole testing procedure follows is that firstly they are tested, any drug is tested in vitro over cells, and then the animal trials happen, and finally the clinical trials into healthy volunteers or patient population can happen before it is launched into market. So very, very importantly, the safety and efficacy of the drug or the vaccine is of utmost importance. So no matter whether it cures or not, the first thing is to do absolutely no harm, because that will totally defeat the whole purpose, and the adverse effects can take a drug out of the market after its launch. So today we're going to discuss firstly about vaccines and then about drugs. So vaccines are a way are therapeutics which have been developed mostly against viruses and in case of some bacteria as well. So which are basically attenuated or inactivated strains of the viruses or parts of it, so that this help our body recognize this prior to an infection. So our body is basically prepared to attack whenever it comes for the second time. So a number of vaccines have been developed against a number of diseases. So just to keep things in perspective, a vaccine development many a time takes more than a year, and sometimes even 20 to 30 years. For example, in case of smallpox or hepatitis, it has taken decades to come up with a safe vaccine for community immunization. So yeah, we are kind of running really short of time, because we have to really, scientists are really rushing to develop effective as well as safe vaccine for COVID. So the different vaccines that are currently in the run for COVID-19 is one which is a Moderna vaccine. Moderna is a US company which has come up with an mRNA 1273 vaccine and plans around 100 million doses for this. So what they have done is that instead of giving an inactivated virus, what they have done is that they have put the mRNA of the virus inside a lipid nanovesicle, and then they are giving it inside the cell. So basically this RNA will translate to the proteins which are viral in nature, but instead it doesn't have the adverse effect of having the whole virus inside, which may have more toxic reactions. The second one has been developed by the Oxford University, and AstraZeneca, the company, has collaborated with Oxford to come up with something which is they have named as ChAdOx1, and later which was renamed as ASD122, and these are mostly inactivated strain of the common cold virus, which is similar to the coronavirus, and this is adenoviral vaccine, so it's basically an inactivated strain. The other two, which two countries, Italy as well as Israel, are claiming to do are generating monoclonal antibodies. So monoclonal antibodies are antibodies which are generated for a particular type of disease against a particular type of antigen, which they have a similar like makeup all throughout, to be simply put. So they have generated it in rats, and they are claimed to be effective against humans as well. So these are the few forerunners of the vaccines development. There are a lot of other vaccines are also coming up. So I'd like to also draw your attention to a few studies which are also happening for the BCG vaccine, which are common immunization procedures in countries such as India, Japan, and other South Asian countries where BCG is common to be immunized in children. So ICMR in India are also doing a study to see if BCG vaccine can also provide immunization against COVID-19 as well, and such respiratory viruses. Another thing which has come up as a therapy, but the mode of action is actually to boost your immune response, is convalescent plasma therapy, so that you can actually take plasma from donor people who have recovered out of the COVID infection. They're supposed to be that the plasma is the watery part of the blood, but it contains a lot of antibodies and immunoglobulins. So this can actually help people having critical symptoms in COVID-19, because they are unable to do so. So they take it from a donor who have already recovered. So their body has already prepared a lot of antibodies. So they give it to a patient, so which boosts, it's like a passive immunity where it boosts up their system to fight off the viruses. So this is all about current update about the vaccine.